Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're all having a great day. And I hope you're going to have a good night with your Valentine if you have one. And I figured, what better way to celebrate? I know I did Valentine, the movie, the other night. And today, since it is Valentine's Day, I thought I'd celebrate with a little bit more murder and mayhem by reviewing My Bloody Valentine 3D. This movie came out in 2009. It was produced on a budget of $15 million, dollars, and the movie made 51.5 in the US and 100.7 worldwide. So this movie made some bucks. I am surprised they never made a sequel to this film. I wish they would have. I think this is a real fun movie, but let's dive into it a little bit more. This movie was written by Todd Farmer. Todd Farmer wrote Jason X, this film, the movie they did right after this, Drive Angry, and he also wrote a movie that came out last year in the fall called Trick. And three of those four films I just named off are all directed by the same man, Patrick Lussier. They were actually tasked with doing Halloween 3D after Rob Zombie was done. Yes, they were going to make a Halloween 3D, which never materialized. I mean, they almost got the green light, and then Dimensions pulled the plug for whatever reason. I don't know what happened, but that's what. So we never got Halloween 3D, which actually, I'm not the biggest fan of 3D, so I'm okay with that. But Patrick Lussier he's been directing for a little while. He directed Dracula 2000, if you remember that film with Gerard Butler's Dracula. He directed this film, Drive Angry, Trick. But he also used to edit movies for Wes Craven. He edited the Scream films for Wes Craven. And he also used to edit some other films for Dimensions when they were really cranking out the horror films. But anyway, and this also was the first R-rated picture shot in 3D when the new craze came around. In this movie, they hired Jensen Ackles to play Tom. They hired Jamie King to play Sarah. Kerr Smith is Axel. Tom Atkins is Sheriff Burke. And Betsy Rue is Irene. Those are pretty much our main characters. And this movie basically starts off with, there's something happened at the mine. And this gentleman, they roll into the emergency room at the hospital in Harmony. That's the name of the town. The guy they roll in is named Harry Warden, and you hear the Sheriff Burke and this other officer talking about how something happened to mine, and Harry Warden killed the other guys so he can survive. And they put him in this room, and he's in a coma. Now, coincidentally, the same night, the kids, Tom, Jensen Ackles' character, is kind of blamed for what happened because he messed something up that caused a lot of the problems, but then Harry Warden killed the guys to survive. That same night, some of the guys and girls are having a Valentine's Day party at one of the mine shafts, and Tom's family owns the mine. And in conjunction with that, Harry wakes up from his coma and kills everybody at the hospital. And the cops find it, and they know where he's going, back to the mine, and Harry Warden's going to kill Tom. That's his whole goal. And there's some murder mayhem right there at the party. Harry Warden starts killing all these guys. He's dressed with the gas mask on, like we know from the original My Bloody Valentine. And then he goes after Tom. And right before he can kill Tom, Sheriff Burke and one of the deputies show up and shoot him. And they get Tom out of there. But you can see Tom's visually shaken. Sorry, can't talk. I'm hopped up on caffeine and I have a cold. Shaken from the experience. Because the camera lingers on his face, you can tell it messed him up. As it would anybody seeing that in front of him. And then it cuts to 10 years later. And it starts off with Kerr Smith. This character, Axel, is now the sheriff. And he's being interviewed by a local news station about the murders 10 years ago. And he's not so gracious with his answers. He basically tells him to F off and leave us alone. Something like that. And we're introduced to his wife now is Sarah. Now, Sarah and Tom were a thing back 10 years ago. And Axel and Irene, played by Betsy Rue, were a thing when this party where Harry Warden showed up and killed a bunch of the kids there, or a lot of the people that were there. But now, Tom has been gone for a long time. Like, he disappeared, never came back. As a matter of fact, his dad just passed away. He never showed up for the funeral. But Tom does come back because he wants to sell the mine. And he's met with some animosity from the town because A, people know he's here to sell the mine, and B, they blame him for what happened 10 years ago because he messed up something in the mine. And even though Harry Warden did the murdering, the town still blames Tom for what happened. And that first night he's back, Irene is at the hotel on the outskirts of town where Tom is staying, and she's having sex with this guy in this room. And this guy's played by Todd Farmer. He plays a truck driver in this movie. And she finds out before he leaves that he's been filming their sexual interactions, and she gets really pissed at him. And he basically tells her, "I don't want to be with you anymore." And he's married too. I don't think she knows that. At least they never, because he puts a ring on behind her back, and she never sees it. She gets mad and follows him out to the truck with a gun in her hand, completely nude. And she gets pissed and throws a gun and hits him in the face. And he tells her to piss off. And he opens his truck to get in, and a pickaxe comes down and buries in his skull. And Harry Warden's back, or we think he is. He chases around Irene it goes on for a good 5-7 minutes, and she's nude the whole time. But it's a very effective sequence. Because it puts her in a very vulnerable position. And the longer the sequence goes on, you actually kind of forget she's even naked, even though she's clearly nude on screen. It's very well done. She acts the shit out of it, so she does a very good job. Unfortunately for her, fortunately for us, if we're a slasher fan, she doesn't make it through. But and that sets it going forward. The cops know somebody's killing somebody, and Axel is convinced it's Tom because he hasn't been around, but he has no proof. And then Tom has a run-in with Harry Warden, or so he thinks, in the mines. He goes to see one of the gentlemen who's helping run the mine, and Harry Warden shows up and kills the one guy that takes him down in the mine, and he gets trapped in this utility cage. And everybody's pointing the fingers at him, but he's like, "It wasn't me. Harry Warden was there." And everybody's like, "Harry Warden's dead. It's you." But they have no evidence, so they let him go. And as the movie goes on, there's more murder and mayhem, and Tom's trying to get back in with Sarah. And Harry Warden, kills Sheriff Burke and all these other people. And at the end, Tom's taking Sarah back to the mines. He goes, "You got to trust me. You got to trust me." And the more he talks in the car, the more Sarah thinks it's him. Makes him wreck the car, calls her husband, Axel, and they all end up converging at the mine. But Tom put enough doubt in her mind that she thinks Axel possibly could be the killer. I don't know. And they're standing there, she has the gun pointed at both guys, and Axel's like, "Screw it, just shoot us both. If you can't be sure, just shoot us both." And then Tom has a complete mental breakdown in front of both of them. He thinks he sees Harry Warden walking towards them from behind Sarah. And Sarah and Axel are looking, and there's nobody there. And he is he breaks down and thinks he's Harry Warden. And he switches from having a breakdown to wanting to kill both of them. And they realize Tom's been killing everybody the whole time. And they end up shooting Tom, and he gets hurt, and the mine blows up, and they think he's dead. But at the end, Jensen Ackles walks out of the mine. He has a mask on, like one of the rescue workers, and he takes off the mask, looks right at the camera, and keeps walking, and cut the credit sequence. And it's a fun movie. Yes, there are some plot holes, and they don't hide the fact that they throw some red herrings at you, but it's obviously Tom is the killer the whole time. Because he's taking medication periodically through the movie. They show him stopping to take some medication. He has something's wrong with him. And I never once, even though Axel comes off as kind of a dick, I never thought he was the killer. I always thought it was Tom. And Harry Warden's obviously dead. So you knew it was Tom. So they don't hide that very well. I don't think, at least for me, I knew it was him. But even with that, there's some really inventive kills. They don't shy away from the gore. It's very bloody, very gory. And it's just a fun time. It really is. It's well acted. It's well directed. And I had fun with it. I always have. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's a fun time. It's a fun slasher film. You can't think about this stuff too much. And the characters are good enough. And, a 7.5 out of 10 for me on this Valentine's Day. Have a happy Valentine's Day. Have a good night. Have some fun. And if you like this review, hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. And I will be back soon. Thanks. Have a great day.